So let's get right into this because this is incredibly important. President Biden has officially had presentment. He was presented HR 82, and it's officially been published to congress.gov. Now, remember, you can see it right here, presented to the president, 12/27/24. Now, yesterday, around noon, we did a video talking about the problems, potential pocket veto, potential not signing it when he could have. Then we did another video later that night where still again, we had not received any update from the actual congress.gov website as to what was going to happen with this bill. Then I had somebody who basically wrote me a 1-star review saying how horrible I was for reporting that basically the president didn't sign it and that he, of course, didn't have the opportunity to sign it, and how terrible of a person I am for doing a video about that. Well, and here it is. I'll read it to you by Sherilyn K. 1 star. Here you go. I think that accusing the president of going on vacation and not signing a bill he never had to sign was wrong. You gave false information to the public, which got them blaming President Biden for leaving them in the cold and possibly not even signing it. It was clear from congress.gov that the bill hadn't been sent to the president when your video was made. According to the site, it was just sent to him today, 12/27/24. I think you might want to apologize and retract your video from yesterday. Will I retract my video? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Absolutely not. Nope. No way in hell. Here's why. We didn't know what was going on. I did these videos on the 26th because I was explaining the constitutional Article 1 issues that can arise from that situation. Now, you will note the House passed the bill on November 12th, 2024. The Senate passed the bill on December 21st of 2024, known as HR 82. And as you know, that bill from December 21st to the 22nd, to the 23rd, to the 24th, to the 25th, to the 26th that I waited to do those videos saying we might have a problem. There are some facts here that don't look good for him actually signing this. I waited that long to make that video. You know why I did? I waited through all the Christmas stuff, made it all the way to the middle of the 26th. Still nothing. Did another video that night leading into today. That's how long I waited for it basically to be going into the 27th to say, the facts are adding up. We might have a problem here. And this person who comes in afterwards says, whoa, let me be the savior and say the congress.gov website just published it, and therefore Biden could have never signed this. He wasn't presented the document. Wrong. This is wrong. Here's why. As you all know, President Biden has been very active with his pen recently. Extremely active. Not a little bit active, very active. He has been vetoing judicial bills, signing 50 other bills ahead of his St. Croix vacation. He has passed basically the same day, although it flipped over to the next day, in the same pretty much event, right? The American Relief Act, HR 10545, to keep the government funded until March 14th of 2025. So the point is, the question I have, why has President Biden played a game? Now, my belief here is that President Biden coulda, shoulda, woulda signed this thing. Nothing's changed. Now he has been presented the document. He gets 10 days. We don't count Sundays. If he doesn't sign it, we get a pocket veto. This thing will then fumble over to basically Trump, and Trump will get the win on it, okay? Which I don't think is fair to the Democrats. I really don't think it's fair to the Democrats. The Democrats deserve this. They passed it during their 4 years. They should get the win on this. They should. Now, some people in the comments will attack me for being pro-Democrat. I am a person that fights for the poor. I've been doing this for a long time. I'm not an idiot when it comes to the financial reality of how America works. That's why I always talk about how poorly the past 4 years have been for the petrodollar, reserve currency, farmers, etc. I grew up on a farm. I know it. I come from people who have basically had a tough time throughout the human race's existence. And I'm trying to say to you guys, hey, look, there are things that you need to know to successfully navigate the BS presented by politicians. There are some things I need you to know, and I'm going to teach you some actual lawyer techniques today so that you don't end up coming to the party a day after the breaking news was released saying, oh, you were wrong, you need to apologize. I'm not apologizing for a damn thing. I was right. I waited, and then I waited some more, and we still didn't get an answer. That congressional website, congress.gov, could have posted that they were presenting it at any point. But even better, you have to ask yourself the following question. Why didn't the president, for something so incredibly important, say, I want that bill on my desk today? I want the Social Security Fairness Act on my Air Force One desk today. I want the Social Security Fairness Act on my island cabana, whatever, I don't care, desk today. I don't get it. I don't get how people are that confused about how this works. Okay, let me explain the way it works with politicians. If you've never owned a company, if you've never worked for executives, there are two calendar systems. There is the back-end calendar, which is what actually happened. And then there's the published calendar on what they want you to believe happened on the day and time when they want you to believe that it actually happened. So there's the back-end calendar of what actually happened and the calendar of what they want you to believe is happening when it's happening. Now, let me ask you this. If you were president of the United States and you had the opportunity to mop up the floor and get a Social Security win, when you haven't had a Social Security win other than putting Commissioner Martin O'Malley in, which was a solid. That was Biden. Honestly, if you want my opinion, Biden's greatest move was Martin O'Malley in the SSA. You can take all of his other accomplishments. Okay, good. Here, maybe. Okay. No. The top one is Martin O'Malley at the SSA. He's setting him up to be a future president that actually came from the SSA, that would actually care about passing big changes in Congress for the SSA. That was the big win. Now he's got this one in his paw right here. He's ready to go. If it's passing the House on the 21st, okay? Sorry, the 12th of November, and then the Senate on the 21st. Please help me understand why the president would not immediately ask for that to be placed on his desk. Why would he wait? And why would Congress wait to present it to him on the 27th? Not the 21st, not the 22nd, not the 23rd, the 27th. Okay? I waited all the way to the 26th to say, hey guys, we got a problem here. Now, a lot of people who have been kind of snotty in the comments have made statements that VP Harris could just sign it for him. No, she can't. She can't do that. Although she could do it if he was incapacitated. So to be fair, they're wrong, but there's some gray room there on that one. There's definitely, look, when he's on the islands, right? He's having fun, the U.S. Virgin Islands. He might be drinking a little, having a good time. There's some wiggle room on that one. I will give you that one. I will give you some wiggle room on that one. That one you get wiggle room on. But technically, by the Constitution, VP Harris cannot sign a bill, into law without something like that occurring. She doesn't have that constitutional guarantee of power. Okay. Now, with that said, we need to have a talk about what's going to happen next. Okay. There are some options here. Number one, he can sign it while he is in the islands. Number two, he can sign it when he gets back from the islands, right? Because he's there for the New Year's thing. And we expect somewhere a couple of days after New Year's, he'll return. That's within the 10 days, excluding Sundays. He could potentially sign it when he gets back. Another option is he never signs it and it becomes a pocket veto. That would be shit. We don't want that. Another option is that he has already signed it, made a video, and will publish the video to the legacy news stations at some point throughout the next 10 days within the constitutional requirement of Article 1. So, in my opinion, he's already done that. And here's my likely reason why. Number one, he, just to be fair, was geographically while in Washington, D.C., around a lot of the key players with the Social Security Fairness Act that were spearheading this bill to become law. So, geographically, they were all in a similar location. So to make that video, he's sitting at a desk, they give him a Sharpie, they're all back behind him, getting ready for the photo. That's when it likely would have gotten done. So I believe that he likely already made a video where he was signing it, that it was already done. They had a news conference group there on behalf of Biden, set up the photo shoot up. They presented it, got everybody lined up behind him. They're all clapping. He's got a Sharpie. He signs it. Boom. It's done. He goes to the islands. Thanks for playing. But then you got to wonder, why wait? Why did Congress, through the Senate, present to him this bill on the 27th? Here's why. The closer we get to Trump becoming the next president, the stronger the message it will be that President Biden did something really good for Social Security recipients. 3 million of them, $200 billion over 10 years. Okay, there's some back pay to January 2024, stuff like that. So the point is, and I think this is incredibly important to realize, he is using this, in my belief, as something to prove that he wasn't for 4 years some guy who didn't do what he was, pushing that he was going to do in his pre-White House website. He is now in a position where he's trying to get this as close to Inauguration Day as possible so that he can parade it like a Roman parade over a victory so that it will make him shine leading into President Trump's presidency. Because President Trump has a better Social Security bill that's going to affect more seniors in a more positive way for a longer period of time going forward for a much larger group of elderly people, which is, of course, repealing the 25% law, the 25K law, the 34K law, where they basically tax retirement benefits at the 50% and 85% respectively. That's a better rule change. Trump's going to get that win. There is no way Schumer will allow the Democrats to not have this. But you have to understand, Schumer is a smart man. He understands the rules of the Senate very well. He knows that if he wants something to slow roll the process of the signing of this bill, to build up anticipation for people to say, yes, it was passed, he needs to slow roll it and build that fire and build that excitement. He's a smart guy. He's going to do that. And that is why on the 27th, this was presented to President Biden in the islands, which of course doesn't make sense why they would do that, other than to make it something that's going to blossom and be exciting and fireworks to downplay what Trump is trying to do. It's a smart maneuver. Now, I personally believe that the video was already shot. The people behind him were already in the same geographic area. Sharpie has already been on there. The ink has dried. It's already done. I personally believe that. Do I have any proof of that? No, I don't. I don't have proof that he's already signed it, shot a video, had an op-ed, had all the articles already written out for the legacy news stations to just nibble and grab and things like that. I don't have proof of that. But if I were president, that's what I would have done if I was coming up against President Trump. That's what I would have done. Now, I need to teach you guys, because, when I got this 1-star review, it pissed me off at first, and then I calmed down. I'm going to read it to you again. I think that accusing the president of going on vacation, not signing a bill he never had to sign was wrong. So the first thing that she said, right, is that he couldn't have signed it because he didn't have it. He wasn't presented with it. The problem with that is that somehow, before he went to St. Croix, he had a bunch of other bills that were presented to him just fine. Just fine. He seemed to find the Oval Office desk just fine, with all those other bills sitting on it just fine, right? And no, to answer the follow-up question that people will have is, well, doesn't it always take a while to go ahead and get it presented to the president from the Senate or the House or blah, 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 yada, yada. There are bills that are signed on the same day. There are bills that are signed the next day. This is one of those bills that you sign that day that it passes the other house, both congressional bodies, or the next day. This is not a bill where you play, patty cake with it while you go to the islands. This is a bill you get done, which is why I believe he's already signed it. There's already a video somewhere. That's what I believe. Let me keep reading. You gave false information to the public, which got them blaming President Biden for leaving them in the cold and possibly not even signing it. First of all, he still hasn't signed it. Y'all are still in the cold. It's the 27th. When I made those videos, we had no direction from congress.gov. We didn't even know if they were going to go ahead and update us because of the holidays as to what was going on, as to when they were going to present it to him. We had no idea. The 26th. I waited till the 26th. So my point is with this, no, I will not be apologizing to this person. It was clear from congress.gov, right, after I had done 2 videos and waited many, 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 many days after the Christmas holiday. Oh, now it's clear. It's now clear the day after I made the videos where I explained that there was a problem. Now it's clear. Oh, okay. Gotcha. It was clear from congress.gov that the bill hadn't been sent to president when your video was made. Yeah, no, that's the problem. That's why I made the video. That is exactly why I made the video. If they don't present it to the president, then there's a much bigger problem because he doesn't have it to sign it. That's why I said the facts are lining up, red blinking lights. Okay, according to the site, it was just sent to him today, 12/27/24. Good. This person can read. I appreciate that in a person. I think you might want to apologize and retract your video from yesterday. Why would I retract a video that is late breaking news about a problem that potentially exists, and then they come out with the report of them presenting it to him the next day? Why would I pull back a video about late breaking news that happened the day before they sent out the fix? Does that make any sense? No. Was I upset? A little bit. There was a little bit of, excitable fingers there. So here's my point. I would love for them to apologize to me. I don't think they ever will. They might pull back their thing. Google might get rid of their, 1-star review thing. I don't know. I don't hire companies to go ahead and remove 1-star reviews. I don't do that. I know of all the other law firms that are like really big have entire editing divisions for videos, audio, comments, reviews, everything. Like they're on top of that. And then you have some companies that are just like, we have 50,000 5 stars on our website, great. Or like, Trustpilot, like that stuff. None of that stuff is a real, in my opinion, or as valuable as a Google review. You know what I mean? Those reviews are like, they sent out an email and maybe it was to a real account. Which brings me to my next point too. I've been noticing from some of the other people who make Social Security videos, and there's one guy who used to be a manager who sent, his channel massively grew. And I've been seeing on my channel basically little comments from bots talking about how great and brilliant he is. And then they just comment his name on top of that. I'm not allowed to do that stuff, just so you guys know. So my channel takes a little bit longer to like grow like this. There's a reason for that. I'm not allowed to do like Chinese cell phones lined up on the wall watching and commenting my name on other channels to, network. I can't do that stuff. It's in violation of the federal bar. There's a Florida bar, federal bar. It's in violation of all of those. I'm not allowed to do those things. I can't do those like giveaways. I would love to do giveaways. Like if you could prove that you're disabled and you don't have something, tell me what it is. And I would love to do a giveaway for it, but I'm not allowed to. The Florida bar won't allow me to do giveaways online. They will allow people, attorneys, to throw entire concerts and fund them as the main sponsor or even the only sponsor. They're allowed to throw entire concerts as a giveaway, but we're not allowed to online do giveaways to people for like things that, poor people might need, which is to me, it's like, think about this. You ever thought about like how much attorneys could do with like donating phones, donating blankets, donating heaters, donating things for dogs, to their viewers, to the people who watch. Do you ever think about how helpful that would be? And I understand it could bias people, and it's terrible. They could hire them to do their job at the law firm to get them the result that they want, potentially, if they can achieve it. I get that. But do you ever think, like, look, you ever see Mr. Beast? And he went to Africa, built a ton of wells for African communities that didn't have proper running water. And then Africans were pissed at him because he didn't show Africa as a metropolis. That's what it feels like when I do this stuff. I tell you guys what's going on. I give you the update. I help with the status, and then I get some shitstorm back where people are like, well, today it says this. Like, the video was yesterday. Anyways, Jeff Lowe, that's a mega donation. I really, really appreciate it. $49.99 donation, which is amazing. And then they transform into a Megatron thingy, which is awesome. From the hippo to that, which is absolutely incredible. And that's the thing too, guys. If I ever did sell the firm, because you guys know what I do for an actual living. What I do for a living is I represent people for Social Security disability benefits. I don't ever really advertise that much because we're overloaded with calls as it is. But the bottom line is that's what I do. The majority of my time every day is spent Social Security disability. I work with administrative law judges to try and get claims through. I work with DDS reps. I work with local FOs, regional FOs, all that stuff. So the point that I'm getting at here is I want to teach you guys something that you can use as if you were an attorney. I want to give you that. I want to give you that because it's incredibly important. It's a way of thinking. Again, Jeff Lowe, massive donation. I super appreciate that. That's amazing. So here's the thing. We are going to learn what law students don't learn until basically they get halfway through their first year. And that's because their minds are not ready to actually do this. It is called IRAC-DR or IRAC doctor. I'm going to write it into the comments because I want you, when you see things on the web, to go ahead. I want you to go ahead, and this is important to me. I want you to go ahead and use this technique to do analysis on figuring out if something is truthful, accurate, if it's good, etc. Here's the idea, okay? Here's the idea. IRACDR. I is issue. Lawyers use this technique to write briefs. This is literally the brief writing process. This is the highest level of analysis skills that are used in the legal field, okay? Now, remember, the legal field can also be biased by this, just like the scientific or medical field. Like when people tell me, oh, I believe in science, I trust science no matter what. And I'm like, cool, who paid for the lab? Who paid for the lab gear? Who paid for the salaries of the scientists? Who paid for the interns that the scientists are probably going to sleep with and get married to? Which, is good. You need to have science babies. Got to have science babies. That's important. Okay. Issue is the first thing. If you want to ask yourself an incredibly important question related to whether or not President Biden will sign this into law, the first thing you need to do is create the whether statement. The first issue is whether. The first issue is whether. They teach this literally in law school. This is important. The first issue is whether President Biden will sign the Social Security Fairness Act into law now that he has been presented it from the Senate and the House. Technically, it's from the originating body, but just for fun right now, has been presented it today on the 27th, which means he has 10 days, minus the Sundays, to sign the puppy. Maybe he'll sign it in the islands, right? So the first question is whether. First issue is whether President Biden will sign the Social Security Fairness Act within the 10 days required by Article 1. Cool. Now we go to R. What are the rules? Well, we would look to the Constitution. What are the rules? Well, there's rules limiting how much time he has to sign it. Rules limiting whether or not Congress is still open to receive, right, the bill back if he doesn't sign it. Otherwise, it becomes a pocket veto. So we look at the rules, and we start to place the rules, and we line them up, and we say, okay, here, it's likely to happen, it's not likely to happen. It's likely to happen, it's not likely. Here's this rule, this rule, this rule, this rule, this rule. We line up our rules. So issue statement. The issue is whether President Biden will sign the Social Security Act into law. Rules, constitutional rules. What's he going to do in the islands rules, right? Are there any weird island rules that apply since, he's over there and there might be some cultural thing that's going on? We don't know. I had a conversation today with a claimant's father, and I was telling him what the actual trial tactics were that have to be done in a particular situation. He's like, no, I'm not doing that. And then he was telling me why. And I was like, what am I missing here? Like you follow this trial tactic. And he said, well, I'm from a Latino family, Latino this, that my culture is this. I didn't realize he was coming from that direction. And then when my brain got that, then I was like, okay, then we're going to switch how we're doing this based off of that. And that's tricky, because, the rule is the rule, but sometimes there's some cultural things that can change things, Then we go to A, the analysis. This is the part that most people suck at. Because the rules, you can look them up. You can start to pin them down. This rule applies. That rule applies. You start to line them up. But the analysis, that's where everybody has a hard time. The analysis is whether or not the rules apply, and when applied, what the result would be from that application. It's the hardest part of this. So let's say President Biden signs it in, the Virgin Islands, and it gets basically made into law. We followed what the laws were for him signing it. We see the analysis on the process for him being presented and him signing it. And now we're cool with it. He signed it. Analysis wins. Ergo, it becomes a law. C. The C stands for conclusion. If this thing were to occur, it will become a law. If this thing doesn't occur, it won't become a law. That is the conclusion. D. What are the defenses? R. What are the remedies? Defenses, usually used more in the line of, crim law. What is some other group going to do that could fudge up your whole analysis? What is something that could happen that somebody could assert that will flip the entire situation on its head? That's where we were with those prior videos on the 26th before they talked about presenting it to him. Because my assumption was they had presented it to him at some point on the 21st, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, the 26th. My assumption was they'd already done it. They just didn't update the website because that's what would make sense since he was signing 50 other ones. So the bottom line is, then we go, okay, what could make this whole thing flip on its head? What could somebody assert as a defense to make us say, oh, that's going to change the whole thing? Remedies. If something occurs, if something changes this, what is the resulting remedy that could occur? Sometimes in civil law, we say, well, we give him money. Sometimes in criminal law, well, we put him in jail. When it comes to Biden, right, what is the remedy? The remedy is to say that he got drunk in the islands and we let Harris sign it. That's the remedy. He becomes incapacitated as president. Boom, she becomes president. Signed. Hey, we did all right today. Island law. It's a nice law. It feels good. So the point is, and that was a joke. For those of you who are not able to handle a joke, in the comments section later, I love you. Sometimes you frustrate me. Then we have to make this video. It's okay. I'm better now. I'll scream at some of you later. Now, with that said, very important. That is how attorneys apply the IRAC doctor way of writing a brief. Issue, rule, analysis, conclusion, defenses, remedies. What is our goal here? It's very simple. We want President Biden to sign something that benefits the American people, known as the Social Security Fairness Act, so that some, 3 million, not bad. Look, 3 million ain't bad. Okay, yeah, 72 million, 3 million ain't bad, okay? That assists government workers. Because remember, the whole point of this act is that government workers don't make as much while they're working because it's a gov job. The benefits are supposed to be awesome. But, right, when they work, they get shit pay. In fact, the video I did earlier today read specifically from, here, I got it right here. Read specifically from the OIG report from the SSA about problems that they're having with employment of SSA employees. Let me show you. Here, right here. Their problem are employees, which the government calls management issue related to human capital, because y'all working for the government are human capital. Which sounds weird. It sounds kind of icky and gross. Like if I were on a date and somebody was like, what do you think about the human capital at your firm? I'd be like, what do you mean? That's disgusting. That's so icky. but that's what they call it. That's what it is. Okay. So the point is, they literally, why this is so here, I love what the Social Security Administration needs to do. Human capital planning. My point is this, okay? When it comes to this bill doesn't, it's not just about 3 million people. It's not. It's about government officials doing something to benefit Social Security recipients in some way, fashion, or form at the congressional level. Okay? There's basically two levels to Social Security making a stuff happen. There's the Social Security Administration. Well, technically, there's three levels. There's the SSA and down. So the commissioner of the SSA makes decisions, does stuff, creates SSR, Social Security rulings. That's position one. Position two, above that, is the District, Circuit, and Supreme Court of the United States. District, Circuit, Supreme Court of the United States. Got your little cha-cha-cha, right? We're doing Biden, St. Croix stuff. So they're at position two. Position three, okay, well, so they decide case law. Cases come up, people are pissed, they decide them, it becomes case law. Woo! Then the SSA has to deal with that case law. I actually have a couple emergency messages we're going to cover as well, and some new case law that's already passed at the Supreme Court, Circuit Court, etc. We're getting away from that, though. Then you have position three. You have Congress. You have the House. You have the Senate. Congressional bodies. Okay? Those are the congressional bodies. Remember the peace sign, although they often do bills that do not have anything to do with peace. We're not going to that, though. And the president. So you need the congressional bodies and the president to go ahead and sign the big stuff, the purse strings, right? The big statutes, the big laws, the constitutional stuff. They're the ones who haven't been doing much, who have been sitting on the sidelines, puppering around, not giving us actual change. The next video that we are doing talks about something that I am upset about. So if you don't want to be a part of that video, I understand. We are going to be talking about the dark side of passing Social Security law. Not the stuff at the SSA, but the stuff at the congressional level. We're going to be going through the phases that politicians go through to create a situation that allows for the passing of Social Security laws. Why is this relevant? It is relevant because, and this is incredibly important, it is relevant because if you don't understand why they're making you angry, why they're making you fearful, if you don't understand why they are creating the need for you to believe that they are the white knight, then you're not going to understand what is required to get change at the congressional level for Social Security benefits. Tom K, thank you for the $2 donations. Also, I saw Diana did a $2 donation as well. I just wanted to give a call out to her. She's our Royalty 72. She's been with us a very, very long time. She has a royal position. Jeff Lowe, again, thank you for the mega donation, the $49.99 donation. I'm going to go set up the next video and get that rolling. Give me about 10 to 15 minutes to just kind of take a break, take a drink, get ready. Please remember to like, subscribe, become a member if you want. Now, if you want, and I always appreciate it, go to Google, type in Disability Resolution Law Firm, Disability Resolution Florida. Throw up some stars up there. I love seeing those. They really cheer me up. They make me feel great. I will catch you guys in the next video. Please remember, Mondays and Thursdays, I go live to answer questions for free. And also, if you have a bigger situation, there's a private 1-hour contract in the bio below. I will catch you later and see you at the next video in about 10 minutes. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon. Catch you later. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.